Hello everybody, it's me GhostCritic, and that time has rolled around again. It's Monday, it's question of the week, the day that I pose a comic book related question to you guys, and then you get the opportunity to ask a burning comic book related question to me, and I'll answer it in the video next week. As a side note, next week's will be the last question of the week of the year, not for good, for the year, because the week starting the 22nd I will be away and I'll have no chance to make any videos. So if you have a final burning question for 2014 that you want me to answer, make sure you put it down in the comments section below. But what about this week? Well, I've decided to make December's questions all kind of Christmassy. Last week we had what would you buy your comic book character for a Christmas present. So this week, okay, Christmas is all about families getting together, sharing and loving, and I just thought, let's have a fight. Because, you know, someone's going to argue at some point during Christmas. So, this is the question. I want you to pick your favourite comic book character. And you're going to pit him in battle with Father Christmas. Old Santa Claus himself. The twist is, Santa always wins. So, tell me in the comment section down below, how does Santa defeat your favourite comic book character? That's your question of the week for this week. So I had a bunch of questions to answer from last week. We start with good old Bat Josh, Mr. Joshua Hayes. He asked me 2 questions, the cheeky little mite. But on we go. If Remende and Scalera left Black Science, who would you want in their place to continue the series? Without a shadow of a doubt, I put on there Barbier and Moneyham of Five Ghosts fame, and I chuck in Geordie Belair as colourist. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. He then asked me, if a billionaire offered to buy you one unobtainable comic book you could never be able to get within ordinary resources, not factoring in value aside from the fact it's too damn expensive for you to buy now, what vintage comic would you obtain? I got a little bit confused halfway through the question. Is it an expensive book? Or have you got to not factor that in, but I did anyway. It would be Fantastic Four issue 1. I am trying to complete a full run of the first volume. I already have one whole long box filled up of issues, but I know deep in my heart that I am never going to have that first issue. But it would be nice to have that, so Mr. Billionaire, if you're out there, I'd like a copy please. Mercy's Little Show asked me, if you could make an ongoing series out of one mini-series, which one would you choose? I picked 2. I don't think, and it's not so much that I wanted this to be an ongoing as such, but I wanted more from it. And that was Steve Niles' Monster and Madman, the secret history of Jack the Ripper and Frankenstein's monster. It was over very, very quickly. I think this was kind of a side project for Niles to get his teeth into while he waits for Bernie Wrightson to finish off Frankenstein Alive Live. The other one was not so much that I want this character, this particular title to be an ongoing, but I want its main character to have another ongoing. If that makes sense. It's Grendel. This was Grendel versus the Shadow. Actually, I quite like an ongoing where it's Grendel versus somebody. Grendel is one of my favourite characters from the comic book universes. I've got tons of stuff of his, and it's always very interesting, exciting, and whoever takes it on always has a nice, interesting twist to it, to kind of the legend and the myth of Grendel. That, you know, I just want to see another Grendel title on my pull list again. Jess S asked me, if you could make one Christmas wish, what would it be? I know everybody wants me to say, oh, I want all my friends and family to be healthy and, you know, peace in our time, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? I think I'd like a new house, please. I'm getting fed up of my flat now, apart from the fact that there's hardly any room left because of all the comic books. But it's winter and my flat gets cold. It's very expensive to warm this flat up. So I'd like a new house, please. Derek Lucarelli asked me, what struggling comic out there now bothers you the most that it's not succeeding? This is a difficult question for me to ask because I don't really look at how well a comic book is doing in the sense of kind of sales and volume of issues going out the door. I do kind of see who's reading what and who's not, but I guess the two for me at the moment, and if you'd watched my Friday's comic book review video, you'll have seen I've already dropped Iron Fist, The Living Weapon. It just did, it bothered me. It should be better than it is, and it's not. And this is more, obviously, probably is doing very well. It's still alive, which surprises me. I stopped this title with issue 31. Some people are still sadistic little things and still picking this up, but Mark Andreyko's ruining Batwoman at the moment. Bring back J.H. Williams, bring back anybody. But it's probably doing well in sales, but it bothers me that it's not doing well telling a good story. Thomas Sheldon, thank you for your question. How did you come up with your username GhostCritic? I think I have answered this some way back, but I don't expect you all to have watched every single one of my videos. So basically, GhostCritic wasn't originally my YouTube name. I just kind of transferred it over to my YouTube channel. It started off as my Twitter handle, and I was going to be one of those terrible, awful people that kind of hid behind a cartoon avatar character type thing and just be really scathing about things and be really horrible. But in the end, that's not really me. And plus, I started using the username GhostCritic all over the place as my kind of sign-ins for various apps and forums and the like. So that's basically where it came from and why, you know, it was a ghost, so you couldn't really see me, and I was a critic, I was criticising whatever. So that's where my username came from, sort of. Finally, Hazel Coffee Nut asked me, what's on your Christmas wish list this year? I was tempted to put in the description bar my Amazon wish list, but I won't. But strangely enough, my Christmas wish list this year is much more to do with TV and films and that kind of thing rather than comic books, though there is a stack of graphic novels on my Christmas wish list for my friends and family and partner to grab and buy me if they want to. But I'm really into watching kind of like old sci-fi and kind of weird sci-fi-ish type TV programs of yesteryear. I mean, I'd love to be able to get volume 2 of Night Gallery, but they don't do it in our region here in the UK, which annoys me. Volumes of The Twilight Zone, the original series, I lap up, so I want volume 2 of that. Stuff like The Invaders, I've got obviously the 2 series that came out on that, but that kind of ilk. I just seem to be going through this phase of kind of 60s and 70s sci-fi from America, which is great stuff. So stuff like that, really. And that's it for this week's set of questions. Thank you very much. Don't forget, this week is your last chance of 2014 to ask me a comic book related question. I'll answer it in next week's video, which will be the last question of the week of the year. Until then, take care. Bye bye.